Hey guys, this is Simon from Fateless, freshly back from GDC, where we got to launch our cinematic or our announced trailer for Godforge. Absolutely insane experience. In this video, I'm actually going to walk you through some of the, I guess, artistic decisions we made, the design decisions we made on the cinematic. I'm going to give you my take on it. I'm also going to share some of the community's take on what we've done so far. And I will follow this video up in probably a couple of weeks with more like a behind the scenes, almost like start to finish. How do we get to the point where we've got a cinematic experience, this kind of announced trailer that we could launch for Godforge? So super cool video. I guess let's start with how the community have reacted to the Godforge announced trailer.
I have goosebumps. Looking pretty powerful. Ta piosenka tutaj.
Wow! Are you serious? Foda, né, galera?
Nice.
Man, when that beat drops.
She's about to fuck him up, bro.
Yes, 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 Godforge. Hell yeah, let's go.
Ah, nice. Das sieht gut aus.
That looked really badass, guys.
Wow, that was crazy.
Ależ ta jego zbroja doskonale wygląda.
I mean, I'm pumped. I'm so excited.
That is so crazy. Dude, I am pumped. I am pumped.
Wow, so cool to see, like, people getting hyped about it, people like really getting in the vibe. You know, some people have asked some cool questions as well, so I'm going to answer some of that stuff in this video today. But yeah, we're going to go through it. I'm going to be talking all over the cinematic in this video because I want to talk to you about different shots we've taken. I want to talk to you about different decisions we made for those shots. I would say if you've not watched it in full yet with sound on, then you absolutely should, because it makes such a difference to the experience watching the video or watching the cinematic. So let's talk about where did we start. This is before we had a cinematic director on board, and we were just really starting to say, would we like to do something like this? Okay, would we like to bring something in which we think brings the level of our studio up a notch and really helps people understand what we're all about? It's a great marketing tool, all of these different things, right? So, and as a group, we were like, what do we really enjoy? Personally, my enjoyment comes from a lot of the League of Legends, like season starter cinematics. So Warriors, it's one of my favorites. Still Here, it's absolutely brilliant. You've got Awaken, brilliant. And they all actually follow a really similar theme. Okay, so you've got this, you've got a story being told. You've got different heroes or characters from the game that you know and love. And you could kind of just resonate with their abilities from game being used in the visuals in the cinematic. They've also got a soundtrack which tries to fit the story. And also I'd say drives emotion. That's the key word. Every time we're talking to Mike, who came on as the director, to Jerry, who came on as the EP, it was all about how do we invoke the emotion in the amount of time we've got in the cinematic, and obviously have some great visuals and that type of stuff. So emotion was really important to us. But also, I said it there, like a track which sells the emotion or ties into the emotion rather than a load of voiceover. And we could have gone two ways. We could have been like voiceover, here's our story, or try and make the story play through some shots and good vocals on a song. So I guess once we understood the vision of visual quality we were looking for and style we were looking for, we then started to get to work with Mike. Mike was the director on the piece. When he's done a ton already, I'll link his work down below. You can see it's now in his featured work, but done a lot with Valorant, done a lot with League of Legends. He's got some really cool like breakdowns of some of the work he did on his King of the Stained Blade piece around Yasuo. So If you want to go and check that out, you absolutely should. It's really cool, actually. But yeah, Mike, he's been around Riot for a long time. He's been around cinematics for a long time. And his experience was just like second to none, honestly. His guidance through the piece was second to none. And actually, it was meant to be a kind of one and done, thanks for coming. Mike's actually come on as our marketing officer, chief marketing officer now, because we just vibe so well together, and he has a lot to bring to Fateless. So really, really cool that we had him on board. Jerry came on as the EP. Jerry's literally Emmy award winning in terms of his direction. He did the Gears of War series back in the day. He did the League of Legends Worlds piece. I don't know if you've seen it with the dragon coming down. Like, basically, he pushes the boundaries of what's ever been done before. Like, for us, we're super blessed to have been able to work with these guys. So, great team. We then started to look for the sound. And Dan Phixion, stumbled across Serena Bell. We were looking for that kind of like haunting sound, which felt, I don't know, felt like it would fit like a game theme. Okay. And Dan stumbled across Serena, shared some of her stuff. And literally, I mean, obviously I went and listened to a bunch of her tracks, and I was like, this is the perfect voice for the type of emotion I want people to feel when they watch the cinematic. It's like, brilliant. You should go, again, I'll link this down below. Go and check out Serena. She's really massive on TikTok, but she also does weekly videos on YouTube. She's got a big following on YouTube. It was awesome to actually see a bunch of her subscribers come in and check out the video as well. But yeah, we met with Serena. She is just like the coolest person on the planet. Really, really fun. Went and had dinner with her. Got to see some cool stuff behind the scenes as well around studios. And yeah, I mean, she done an original track for us, and it is brilliant. She's actually now, at this moment in time, fleshing out the track to be a full-length track. We've also done a full-length remix, which is like a club remix. So once those two things are done, we will release them on Spotify, and you'll be able to download and have those available for you guys as well. But yeah, Serena, absolute rock star. Okay, so the last piece which we were missing, which is where Jerry and Mike really helped us, was who's going to actually create this thing, right? So we went to Narwhal Studios, and you know, they've worked on things like The Mandalorian, Avengers, generally film, honestly, but the ability to create things in Unreal, which is what they would be doing for film anyway, and then, you know, turn it into cool pieces of art is basically what they're all about, right? So a couple of the people we've actually had Mark Austin on the podcast. He did a lot of the previs, which is kind of like the setup. We then had sort of Jake doing a lot of the mocap stuff. And he's worked on a lot of the Star Wars franchises. Very cool actually seeing some of the mocap behind the scenes. And then really Safari and the team there just absolutely knocked it out of the park. We had Natasha doing the sort of production stuff. Yeah, really, really amazing team. And they've done amazing work for us. So let's go through the cinematic, and I'll give you kind of like my take on what's going on. As I say, it's only be a bit stop-start, so watch it in full outside of this video. So we've got that kind of eerie opening. We've got scene setting, right? It's like, and I was actually watching a guy, he does like reaction to other cinematics. Really love this guy's take. He was like, if you could have a wide shot first, let the viewer understand there's like a bigger thing sort of playing out here. And then we kind of like in zones almost like zoom into the detail or zoom into the action. You'll see, if you're someone who like really analyzes these things, we get a little dude run past us first, just to give a sense of depth. We also got like some fiery stuff here to see that this has been going on for a while. You can see a little bit of charring on the fence. And then you're like, what the hell is going on? You see little dudes running around. They got nuked. Pop! The no-look grab. Honestly, this sequence of shots are so amazing. The no-look grab is like one of my faves. Pop! And then the slow turn. It's like, what do you think you're playing at? I'm so much stronger than you. Why are you even trying? Ra absolutely laying down the common soldiers in this fight. We also get Serena's vocals start to come in here and just ease us in emotionally to what's going on. Yes. Okay, so we've got the Blackbird coming in. Really cool. We've actually seen a bunch of people try and depict what's going on here. H-Lock actually had a cool video where he's kind of looking at the background. Yeah, and the guys are trying to like decipher, firstly, who this figure is, this mysterious figure, what's going on with the Blackbird. And then, you know, we've got this kind of like ether well. We've got some nice runic stuff going on here, but you'll notice that the scene deliberately is extremely different to the other scene. We want people to get a feeling of, right, we've got two things playing out here at different times. Sorry, I'm going to keep stopping, but I really want to share what's going on. Notice the way the camera, and this is on purpose, like this is sort of stuff that Jerry might come up with. The camera's like following the bird's point of view so that you get really cool movement in the scene to then like swing round the side of the ether well. Mysterious little fella, and away they go. And then we get the cold stare. Also, this part of the vocal from Serena. It's beautiful. Look, listen to this. So we've got the first introduction of our heroine here. Yes, she is a Valkyrie. Yes, she is Brunhild, which is why she might look like another Valkyrie based on Brunhild. But still, what we're looking at here is, did you just evaporate my friend? my dude? And obviously she is sad about that. So we wanted this kind of like powerful figure who looks pissed. She looks like she is about to go and get involved. It's like, I have not yet begun to fight. The visual, man, it's too good. This little power up on the axe. It's all about to kick off. Ah, this moment as well. Like, I'm trying to remember who it was who spoke about it. Maybe it was H-Lock again, actually, but someone was just talking about the attention to detail. So you've got almost like the flickering, what's this, almost like the fire motes just going over. You can see the reflection on the shield. You've got the movement of the hair. Obviously, you've got the scream that then almost like feels like it's just left her lungs. So good, so good. Also, check out the detailing on the weapon here, the armor of Ra. Like, he's obviously retrieving his weapon from the dude that he's just stabbed down a little bit earlier. You'll notice some of the magma in his veins, very similar to our concept. The magma here. Now it kicks off. Beat drop. Visual. Smack. Let's go. So let's just take it back. So what we're trying to do here, it's like pace now. It's like we've had the slow build. Serena drops the vocal and it's now like action. So obviously our villain here in this, or our dude that's coming in to take things on, Gilgamesh, powering his way through the ether well. Slow-mo shot. We got the impact shot, which honestly took a lot of takes to get this animation right. You've got the kind of like justice break through the armor, or you can see that effect of the ripple of, hold on a minute, she's getting through. First person who's getting through Ra's defenses. The power of the essence flowing over Gilgamesh. And this shot, I think it was actually Ragewood who kind of called this out. This shot is just like a traditional, hold on a minute, the enemy, now looks really insanely big. And it's like, how can this person possibly stand against something so strong? Okay, so it's that framing of small individual framed by bigger individual framed by like a background. It's almost like then what's next, and that's really the teasing moment, right? What's next, and we want people to be involved. So I saw a few people ask, you know, what's the point of the trailer? What are we trying to do with it, I guess? And I think when we originally set out, it was like, we want to make sure we show off some cool heroes from the game. We want to make sure that we pique interest of people that don't necessarily know who we are yet, so that we draw them at least into wanting to play the game. So 2 challenges there. We want to start to set up the story, but not try and tell the story. We don't have enough time. It's 1 minute and 30 odd of trailer. We don't have enough time to tell a big story. So it was like, let's set up some of the key points to the story. And then when someone gets in game, we start to follow that story on with our kind of like parallax cutscenes that we're going to be doing there. So it's all about setting things up. There were a few like design decisions as well. We wanted to make sure that some of the heroes would be recognizable, right? So we wanted a god who would be recognizable, at least for people to say, okay, that's someone from like an Egyptian culture. You know, for us, it's Aru, but Egyptian culture, and probably be able to call out Ra, or maybe not specifically Ra, but at least get a feel for what they're all about. We wanted a female non-god, okay, as our kind of like person that was coming in to battle the big god, so that it gives people that sense in our game that this is not just a god v god smash up. It's about legends and gods coming together in this kind of like conflict. So we wanted to be able to show that, and definitely this diversity of a female character coming in as well, that's got this kind of like fierce hotness about her was important. You know, if we go back to this shot, it's kind of like that. Yeah, just that kind of like fierce warrior vibe, which I just think is we've nailed it, honestly. And then we wanted another non-god that's basically like kicking off the story, which we're going to follow through in game. So and that's really where, you know, the idea of Gilgamesh comes in, and you know, his kind of like epic tale. We also wanted to try and convey that feeling of, I'm not sure if he knows what he's up to right now. Like he's almost having a moment of reflection before he gets on and does the deed. And then a couple of other like mystery Easter eggs are in there as well, just that you'll start to see play out in our story. So, I mean, a lot going on. I guess let's talk budget and stuff like that. You know, there's only so much that we can apply to a trailer like this, because we're not a big multi hundreds of $1 million type of studio. You know, we didn't want this to cost more than sort of 4-5% of our overall budget for the game. Probably more like 3-4%, honestly. So, you know, so we had to sort of reel back from what we might have wanted. Like, we would have loved to have, you know, a 4-minute long, 3-minute long League of Legends style cinematic. Personally, I would have loved it, because I love this type of vibe. But yeah, the trouble with that is it's literally millions of dollars of cost. And you know, some of the ways that we try and get as much value as we can out of our scene is you need to limit the number of characters that you have in the scene. So we've only got 3 characters, main characters, that are like fully rendered in this kind of like high res cinematic quality. And then we have a couple of like other smaller characters that we brought in, like the Crow and like the Berserker, you know, from the opening scene. And you'll notice as well, we've only got 2 environments. So, you know, being able to sort of maximize our environment budget by not having like multiple different areas was important as well. So all of those things are kind of like decisions we have to make, because ultimately what we wanted was the fidelity in the right place, you know, the feel of the piece to be right. And as I said earlier, for people to get that kind of like emotional connection to what we're doing. So look, that's going to be it for the video. Hope you've enjoyed it. Make sure you share it with your friends, with your clans, with your Facebook groups, with your social medias. Really helps us get more exposure on Godforge. And if you haven't signed up for the beta yet, you should do it now. Those signups are going to be ending, like in a week or 2. So I've been Simon from Fateless. I'll see you soon.